Welcome back to the Mr. Manhood podcast. In this episode, we'll be talking about how life always works out. To start this episode off, what I do want to first say is there has never been a time in your life where things did not work out for you. If you're listening to this podcast right now, that simply means that today you've survived the hardest days of your life. 100% pass rate. You made it. You're here right now listening to this is proof that even if you're going through a hard time right now, if you make it till tomorrow, well, then you made it. There's always a idea that this is it. A lot of us get that feeling that, man, this might be the one that takes me out, and it's very scary. But what I realize about that philosophy, typically we're not necessarily scared of just a hard time, but what we're mostly scared of, in my own opinion, is how long is this going to suck for me until my life gets back to normal, or what I deem as normal. That's scary. But without all of that, it still works out. Today still came. And in the idea of things are bad right now, if tomorrow comes, if you can still wake up tomorrow, well, then the worst time has already happened, right? You already got fired from your job, or your girlfriend or your boyfriend already dumped you, and now you guys are moving on. That part already happened. If tomorrow still comes, well, then you've survived it. Sometimes we get so wrapped up into wanting things to happen a certain way to make it as easy as possible, but then there's no growth in that. If your life was easy all the time, you would still be a child in mine. Always. Hardships is what makes people resilient, wise, smart. Hardships have to come. And when you get on the other side of those hardships, now you have wisdom, something you can share to someone and says, this happened to me and I made it through. So another factoid is, as humans, we're one of the best survival species this world has ever seen. I mean, we probably come third to like ants and fucking roaches, but then there's humans. And no matter what you throw at us, we will still, our bloodlines will still carry on, and we will survive. That's just what we do as human beings. No matter how bad the situation gets, no matter what we're facing, if tomorrow comes, we made it. My first sign of this was when I was younger. My father moved myself and my cousin from Chicago to Milwaukee, and this wasn't a planned out trip. It was more of a spur of the moment. A situation was kind of happening or starting to develop, and he knew that there was no positive, a positive outcome to this. And he knew something had to change, and had to change very fast, and he didn't have a lot of time to plan. So in a spur of the moment, he told my grandmother to take myself and my cousin. We were probably like 13, 14 years old. He told her to take us to her house. He was going to pack the house up, and then in the morning, he was going to have his car loaded up, and and we were going to just go driving. Now, keep in mind, we're enrolled in school. We've lived in a certain neighborhood for at least 8, 9, 10 years. And so this was a big deal for me to just pick up my life. But I didn't even have enough time to say bye to my friends. We just left one day. That was it. And without any planning, what ends up happening is we make it to the city and we stay with family for maybe like a day, day and a half at the most. And my father, he was he was beating the streets. He went out, found a place, found um, people who would rent to us. And next thing we know, within about a day and a half, we all had to go and do a viewing of this apartment. And we get there, and sure enough, we walk in, and it's beautiful. It was carpeted. It had a washer and dryer. It was 3 bedrooms, super nice. And this was all within 72 hours. And my father's said that his plan this whole time was just to make it to tomorrow with my boys. That's it. Just make it to tomorrow. That's it. So hard times will come in your life. That's just a part of being a human being. But you're a human being. You're going to survive. Tomorrow will come. And the only time that things don't work out is if you die. Well, if you die, well, fuck it. You tried. I hope you enjoyed this podcast, and I should be uploading another one here soon. Thank you.